Alright guys, wanted to do a quick video, and I mean very quick, on TradingView and charts. Some of the questions have come up about how you're organizing your charts and losing pairs and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to overview some of the buttons and their features and some of the ways I do things. It doesn't mean you have to do it the way I do it, but just at least see and follow what I'm doing. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and let me add a tab here, and I'll bring up TradingView. And I'm not looking for TradingView scripts in general. I just want to get to my TradingView page. It'll auto log me in because I've already been in, and so the cookies are there for my login. So I'm at my essentially the home page for TradingView. There's me, my profile name, and you'll notice right here there's a tab for charts, and that's where you're going to start. And if you haven't had any chart saved yet, it'll bring up something when you click on the charts button. So I'm going to bring on the click on the charts button. You're going to see it has some selections for me. These are existing layouts that I've created. In the pro version, you get 10 layouts. You can a synonymous way of labeling that would be groups. So you could call a layout is equal to a group. And so it'll bring up, if I don't click any of these, this is going to bring up the first one by default. For you, it might not be that. Now, something that's going to happen is it's going to bring up the layout or that group that I already have saved that's at the top of my menu. If you just have a single chart here, well, now let me get into the buttons for charts. So there's several of them. You have this button here, you have this button here, you have this button here, and then you have a little tiny down arrow here, okay, with the name of the current group here. So again, that's the layout button. That is load my group, show me the menu. This is a save the current group. And then over here, there's a drop down which we could do several things with. Save chart layout, save as with a different name, or rename. They do duplication here with the load and the new. So what I've done, because I have the ultimate version or the premium version, I can have an unlimited number of layouts, but here's the selections that are available for me, including the 8 up, which you see here. I believe the Pro package gives you a maximum of 6 per layout. So I would use the 6. I would create the 6. Here is the challenge. You may want to see this in a different format. Now what I want you to note here, in this layout that I already have saved, okay, and as you can see, it's called Steve BTC USD 8 up. Now it might seem crazy to have Steve here, but the reason I upgraded from Pro to Premium is so Dallas could share the same login, and so we get unlimited versus each of us having a Pro. So I pay less and have more capabilities, but that's just unique to my situation. So let's say you have the Pro version, or Pro Plus version, excuse me, which gives you 10 layouts and up to 6 charts per layout. So what you see here is I have my 8 layouts selected. Now, there's not a real rhyme or reason. You just have to learn what it is. But you can switch this layout, which has 8 charts in it. I could switch it to show me a different presentation. So if I want to see this in a 3 up, which is what I like to do for my trading, I have already pre-selected the charts in their random order as they show up on the 8 up, and I have those based on time frames in such a fashion that when I go to the 3 up view, I will see my 30-minute, my 15-minute, and my 1-minute. So I'm all set up for quick fire trading or Charlie Delta trading at the 15-minute level. You will notice without saving anything, changing anything, renaming anything, I can go right back to the 8 up layout and see the charts as they are. And here you'll see the order, and you may not be able to see it, so I will label it for you. This is my 30-minute chart. This is a 1-minute chart. This is a 60-minute chart. This is a 240 chart. This is my 15-minute chart, my 10-minute chart, my 480, and this is the daily. Now, why that order? Well, because when you switch this 8 up to a 3 up, it automatically pulls this chart for the first one, this one for the second one, and this one for the third one. So instead of having this in some nice order, I had to make this my 30-minute chart. I had to make this my 1-minute chart, and I had to make this my 15 chart. So this would be the same in a 6-up. If you maximize what you're paying for and you put 6 charts in a layout, you're just going to have to test which charts end up going to the 3-chart layout. There's no rhyme or reason to it that I could figure out. So it's just trial and error. Put a mark on each chart and then go to the 3-up. That's why I have that's what you have the watermarks for. It can help you test that. So again, if I want to switch this orientation to a 3-up presentation, I could do that. And it's going to be in the right order that I like to have, 30, 15, and 1. That's because I did the little MacGyver work up front. Now let's go back to the 8-chart layout. And again, for you, that might be a 6-chart layout. Understand I can make any one of these full screen by just clicking on the button in the bottom right-hand corner of the chart that says Toggle Maximize Chart. And if I do that, it'll bring my 1-minute chart full screen front and center. If I want to put it back down, I can do that. Now it's part of the 8 again. So I can bring up any one of my single charts, or I can have a 3-up. Or you could do 2-ups and 1-ups. They just not be in the right order. So you just have to determine what you're going to play with. See, I normally don't use multiple charts at once except the 30, 15, and 1. Most of the other times I'm doing full screen 15, or I'm looking at the 4-hour or whatever, but I don't have those lined up with other charts. The benefit of doing this the way I've done it, where all charts are the same pair, is that you can turn synchronization and visibility on. So if I do something on one chart, it'll show up on them all. That is to say, let's look at my 30-minute chart. And I'm going to come to current price. And I'm just going to draw a trend line from the top down to the current price. And I want to change that color. I want to make it white. And I want to make it super thick. Now, over here on the left, you see this button down here. It says Sync Drawings to All Charts. So that automatically allows the things I do to have the ability to be synced to all the charts. Okay, turn it on. Let me go back to my line. I also have the ability at the individual level to say where I want to show up, where I want that to show up. I don't want it to show up on months, weeks, days, or hours. I just want it to show up on minutes from 1 to 30. And when I click that, then visibility should be turned on. In this case, on my 30-minute chart, because I drew it here, it should show up on my 15-minute and my 10-minute and my 1-minute charts. And now you can see that line. There it is. I drew it on my 30, but it's showing up. Here it is on my 30. Here it is on my 15, my 10, and my 1-minute chart. And all of them accurately in place, coming down to the most current price. So if you mix up pairs inside a group or inside a layout, you're not going to be able to use synchronization and visibility across charts. So if you mix pairs inside the chart, you lose that functionality. And quite frankly, unless you have unless you're only trading a few pairs. Now again, in premium, you can do lots of different things. I'm not trying to do a sales job on you, but you can have what I call screening charts. So maybe I would trade 8 pairs, and I literally could have one of those layouts be different pairs. So I can have 8 different 15-minute charts, and I can just use that as a layout, put it on my biggest screen, and just look at whatever scans are there or whatever's going on. I can see the most current price and what's going on 8 different pairs. But unless you have groups or layouts to throw away, I would not do that. I would, again, this is what I do, so I guess I'll just put it in terms of, I don't want to say I recommend you do it, but I'm just saying to think about it. You can keep the synchronization visibility tool on by keeping your group all with the same pair. So I have a group here. In this particular case, it's Bitcoin USD using the Coinbase data feed, and they are all that currency pair, just with different time periods. Okay. So you get your chart set up the way you want from going into TradingView, go to chart, click, get that first chart on your screen, pick a layout, and populate that layout with the same currency pair. Get your chart time periods right for that pair. Now, let's talk about how to create another chart pair or another chart group just like this one without having to do a lot of futzing around. So let's say I want a pair for Bitcoin that would be Bitcoin instead of USD. I want Bitcoin Euro, which isn't a set or a layout I have right now. All right? So all I have to do that is I'm going to go, not this button, which is show me all the layouts I have, not this button, which is just show me save the current layout that I have. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to say save as. And notice it'll automatically put an 8-up copy here. It takes the exact chart that I have and automatically will default to this name here. So watch this. If I say save, at that point I've created another copy of this, and you can see up here it says copy. And if I go to all my chart possibilities here, my main menu of all the groups I've created, you will now see I have not just the BTC USD, but I have the BTUSD 8-up copy. So let me be sure I'm on that one, which I should be. And what I'm going to do now is change the pair, because I want this to be BTC Euro. And I'll stay with Coinbase. So you'll see it changed it to BTC Euro. You'll see if I back this out to see the entire 8 set, or your case 6 set, all of them are now BTC Euro, but the same layout that I had before. 30, 15, 1, 10, 60, 480, 240, and daily. So it's just created a duplicate set exactly like I had the previous one. I don't have to mess with templates or anything. It's just a different currency pair. I want all the charts to be the same as it was with BTC USD. Now I could go up here and change the name by saying save as. Now notice it has the name here as I originally made a copy of it. So I'm just going to come in here and, oops, I'll just backspace, it's easy. BTC EUR, and I say these are 8-up, so because I will be doing things differently here and there. And now I'll save it. And so what you see here now is I have my BTC Euro layout with 8 charts. And again, if I want to see the 3-up of that, I just come over here and switch it to 3-up mode. And once again, it's retained all the structure. Here's my 30, here's my 15, here's my 1. I could go back to my 8 layup. I can open any one of these. So everything's remained the same. I've just created another pair. And you'll notice now here on this button, which is load the chart layouts, it's just going to give you a menu of what chart layouts you have. You will now see I have my BTC copy and my BTC normal and my BTC Euro. I'm just going to delete this copy because that's not, that was just a copy of the original one. I've renamed it BTC EUR. And so now I've got what I wanted. I had my original BTC and now I've got my BTC Euro. I could go back to the BTC one. There it is. And again, once you have these open, you could just switch behind the tabs. The tabs are out of the visibility though, so you can't see it. So if I want to go to BTC USD, I just click the tab and boom, I'm there. If I want to go to BTC Euro, I just click the tab and boom, there I am. So that's it. Don't make it more complicated than it is. So anytime you want to create a new set, first thing you want to do is create a copy, save as, and it'll automatically put the copy in there. And then you go to that version, change the currency pair, and then change the name and save it. And that way you'll never mess up. Now I never have to change charts. I never have to do anything. I've got, if I'm using the Pro package, I have 10 groups or 10 layouts I can trade. What I would do if you have a pro version and you have up to 10 groups, I wouldn't use all 10 actively. I would use 8 or 9 of them, and then I would reserve one. What I've done for me is you'll see it says Explore. And that just tells me I have a tab set or a group that I'm not trading from, but I can go and play with. So if a scan comes up on a pair I don't normally trade, I could automatically bring that up here. If I want to bring up a different time period, if I change the currency pair, etc. So this is kind of like my playground where things can get volatile and I move stuff around and change pairs and whatnot. But once these others are set up, I never change these. I just create a layout for each pair that I want, and then I could go to them and tab between them once I open it up. It's that simple. Hopefully that brings some insight to chart layouts. I would be very careful about, changing a chart name and then using this button to save. I rarely use this button at all. It's a very dangerous button. Because if you make the slightest change in anything here and then save it, you're saving everything in that layout, and you can mess yourself up. It's just easier to tab between the layouts you have. Whoops. To tab between the groups and that you have set up already. It's just easiest to work between them. So get your first group the way you want it set up. The time periods in the right places. I would maximize it using a 6-up to load up all the charts and get them set up individually so you have one good layout with 6 charts in it. And then you can reorient that towards a 3 layup or however else you want to do it. But you're not going to be able to randomly pick the charts for the layouts. In other words, if I'm in my 8 layout orientation, as I said, if I want to go to a 3 layout orientation, I'm not going to be able to do that unless I create another group. So I can do that at the premium version because I have unlimited groups. But if you're limited to your 10 groups, you don't want to be trying to change and create, here's a group for the euro. Well, in this case, euro yen. Here's a group for the euro yen with 6 up. Here's a group for the euro yen with 3 up. That's not going to make sense. You want to keep one group with, in your case, 6 charts, and then just have one group that you want to look at, or one view of that you want to look at that might be different, be it a 3 up. Realize, again, you could open up any one of these charts, so you always have a 1 up view. But you're not going to take something that's set up for 6 and have it work perfectly for you for 3 and 2, horizontal, vertical, all the options that are there for presentation of that group. So find a layout you like. Zoe had mentioned to somebody, the 30-10-1. That's our typical tab 29 trading layout for, posting trades. And so those are screenshot kind of trades, or if you open them up individually, then you can use multiple URLs, use the camera bug or the camera icon to create multiple URLs, and that way you could post the multiple URLs in your post. But for trading purposes, I love the 3 up. It works just fine for me, and it gives me plenty of room of what I need to see, in terms of price. Oriented right to begin with. And you can manipulate them to give you some amplitude so they show up nicely, and you've got what you need to trade. Oops, let me see something here. Let me go back to this. I might not have this one set up. That's kind of interesting. First example I pull up isn't what I wanted. Yeah, these are all 1-minute charts. 15 and then the rest are ones. I didn't set this one originally. So anyway, your layouts here will when they're right. Oh, that's because this is the Explore set. Duh. Let me go to the Euro set. Trying to show an example and it's not working. I'm going, how is this? I trade from these charts. This should be working. So again, if I take my 8 up and I go to my 3 layout, it's always going to be the 3 charts that I trade from, the 30, the 15, and the 1. Back to my 8 layout, not changing pairs, not doing anything, it's just toggling the presentation of the group that I have. So the best way you need to visualize this is you can have 10 groups, they say layouts, synonymously or just given another name, realize that really means groups. You have the ability to do those groups, same pair, with different time frames. And that's what I would recommend for the 10 chart layout, the 10 layout version. Same pairs, different time periods. That gives you the ability to sync and to turn visibility on. That gives you the ability to change it, you know, in your case from a 6 up to, excuse my pen, to a 3 up. And these are just different views of the same group. All right, hopefully that brings some insight. I'm done. Not the classiest presentation, but hey, I'm on vacation.